Welcome to Simple English Quizzes. Here, I'm going to talk about how you can find the right verb for the right personal pronoun or the right subject when conjugating your verbs. The verb we are using in this practice is the verb to criticize. As you can see, sentence number 1 reads, I criticize people who are biased. You can see that the first person singular pronoun is I, and the verb is criticize. I and criticize are inseparable when conjugating the present tense of the verb to criticize. At the bottom right of the screen, you can see the complete conjugation of the present tense of the verb to criticize. I criticize, which is the first person singular. You criticize, which is the second person singular. He criticizes, which is the third person singular masculine. She criticizes, which is the third person singular feminine. It criticizes, which is the third person singular neuter. We criticize, which is the first person plural. You criticize, which is the second person plural. They criticize, which is the third person plural. It will be incorrect if anyone speaks outside these arrangements. The first person singular pronoun, I, is always linked to the verb criticize. The second person singular pronoun, you, is always linked to the verb criticize. The third person singular pronouns, masculine, feminine, and neuter, he, she, and it, are always linked to the verb criticizes. The first person plural pronoun, we, is always linked to the verb criticize. The second person plural pronoun, you, is always linked to the verb criticize, and the third person plural pronoun, they, is always linked to the verb criticize. Look at the following examples. The first one reads, I criticize people who are biased, which is a correct sentence. The second one reads, I criticizes people who are biased, which is an incorrect sentence. The third one reads, he criticizes people who are biased, which is a correct sentence, and the fourth one reads, he criticizes people who are biased, which is an incorrect sentence. Some English learners use criticize and criticizes interchangeably. This is wrong because the connection between the third person singular, he, she, and it, and the verb criticizes, is unbreakable. If you watch closely, you will find that all the other verbs connected to all the other personal pronouns coincide with the main verb, criticize, except the third person singular which ends in s. In conclusion, when conjugating the present tense of the verb to criticize, note that all the verbs coincide with the main verb, criticize, except the third person masculine, he, the third person feminine, she, and the third person neuter, it. And the verb connected to these three persons is criticizes. Please note that the second person singular pronoun, you, is the same as the second person plural pronoun. Both pronouns are you. As you can see in the box at the bottom right of your screen, the second person singular and second person plural pronouns are highlighted in red. Sentence number 2 reads, you criticize me behind my back. Here, you can see that the second person singular pronoun, you, is linked to the verb criticize. Both are inseparable in the present tense of the verb to criticize. Sentence number 3 reads, he criticizes everything he sees. Here, you can see that the third person singular masculine pronoun, he, is linked to the verb criticizes. Both are inseparable in the present tense of the verb to criticize. Sentence number 4 reads, she criticizes her mother almost on a daily basis. Here, you can see that the third person singular feminine pronoun, she, is linked to the verb criticizes. Both are inseparable in the present tense of the verb to criticize. Sentence number 5 reads, it criticizes the actions of the government on a regular basis. Here, you can see that the personal pronoun neuter, it, is linked to the verb criticizes. Both are inseparable in the present tense of the verb to criticize. Sentence number 6 reads, we criticize any decision that is against our interests. Here, you can see that the first person plural pronoun, we, is linked to the verb criticize. Both are inseparable in the present tense of the verb, to criticize. Sentence number 7 reads, "You all criticize everything we do regardless of the outcome." Here, you can see that the second-person plural pronoun, you, is linked to the verb, criticize. Both are inseparable in the present tense of the verb, to criticize. Please, remember that the second-person singular pronoun, you, is the same as the second-person plural pronoun. Sentence number 8 reads, "They criticize the government irrespective of what it does." Here, you can see that the third-person plural pronoun, they, is linked to the verb, criticize. Both are inseparable in the present tense of the verb, to criticize. This is the end of the video. Subscribe for subsequent ones. Thanks for watching.